Hello YouTube! Welcome to another mod review. I'm Vinnie with Vape Academy, and today we have a special treat for you. We have the Smoktech BEC PRO 50 watt tube mod, all stainless, 4 to 12 volts, 6 to 50 watts, goes up to 0.1 increments for both, takes a single 18650 battery, fires down to a 0.2 ohm build. So for you cloud chasers, this is an idea for everybody, alright? Oh yeah, it's got fucking Bluetooth. Yeah, your mod's got Bluetooth. Hooks up to your cell phone, you know, run everything you want, change your settings, make it personal. We'll get into that later. We're going to break that into a close-up, kind of break it down a little bit. Nice box here, give you 2 different beauty rings for your atomizers. I haven't found a single thing that doesn't fit. Anything above a 0.2 is going to fire on it. This thing hits. I love it. First impressions, it's gorgeous, it's heavy, it's got a nice little feel to it. People complain about the squeaky threads. We'll get into that, alright? There are some drawbacks, but for me, everything's positive so far. So let's get into a close-up, let you guys see it. Alright, so let's dig in. We got this nice black box. Smoktech did a nice job with packaging on this. Smok BEC PRO on one end, and then you got your, your authenticity marks on the back. We'll dig in, get this bad boy open. You get one beauty ring, you get another beauty ring attached, and you get your actual tube. Yeah, tube separates here. Easy enough. I do have a battery in there, get rid of that. And then the bottom cap for the battery. So, breaks down like that. Oh, one more beauty ring. Pop that off. So there's your 5 parts. Simple enough. When we get it all back together, we'll show you a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, everything's stainless. The threads are a pain in the ass, guys. But really, I don't mind threads that much. People complain, but they're not squeaky. They just take their time getting in. Alright, we'll drop our battery in. And then you get this, I don't know if you can see it here, but we're going to get a little Smok logo that pops up once we get that in. The bottom's really where the pain in the ass comes in. This thing does not like to go, and then we'll hear if you can squeak. It gets to be tight, alright? They might need some graphite or something like that. Your smoke comes up for a second. 5 quick flicks, and your smoke and welcome comes up. Alright guys, we're going to dive in close real quick and check out the menu on this bad boy. Again, 5 clicks brings you in. First option is Bluetooth. You let it sit. Off, on, 2 options, pretty simple. Leave Bluetooth on. 5 clicks again. Hit it again, brings you watts up, watts down. We'll stop in watts down real quick. It's at 50 now. 1 click brings it down, 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 down. You can hold it, it gets going, but one drawback is it doesn't really go any quicker. It kind of just stays at this speed, so it does take forever to get down to like 10 from 50, but kind of stay up in the high range, so it's not really a big deal for me. So we'll go 5 clicks again. The eye brings you into different what's going to be displayed on the screen. So you got ohm, temp, output, and battery. Yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. Output's gonna, when you hit the button, is gonna leave you at what your wattage is or what your voltage is, depending on how you have it set. Ohms is gonna tell you what ohms your atomizer is. Battery's gonna tell you how much battery. It gives you the volts on the battery. And let's go back in. Next option we have is gonna change your modes. So it goes from watts mode to mech mode to volts mode. When you're in mech mode, it's going to it basically hits whatever it sets itself at, which if you have like a 0.2 ohm build on there and you hit the fire button, if your battery's fully charged and you're at like 4.2 volts or 4.1 volts, you're going to be at like 35 watts usually, like 28 to 35 in that range, and as the battery goes down, your watts are going to go down. 5 clicks again, we'll go back in. And past that is our lock. Gives you unlock and lock. We're going to leave it unlocked because we want to keep scrolling. Go back in. And last but not least is just a power button. Off, on. Real simple. Cancel leaves it on. Off turns it off. We'll go off and we'll back right back out. Goodbye. Alright, so let's dig into this Bluetooth. Again, 5 clicks over here on the BEC. Brings up Bluetooth. Off, on. Easy as that. Over on your phone. Search, brings you right into Vinnie Vapes. Now check this out. Let's zoom in on this. When I hit go, it's going to start tracking in real time where I'm at with everything.
going to count my volts, it's going to check my addy, it's going to tell me my power, and it's going to tell me, I can't tell if you can see that, there you go, it's got a puff timer on there. Well, I don't really call it a puff, but whatever. But what I've really been digging on these is these custom power and voltage modes. We'll go in here to a custom power mode, and we got a couple to choose from that I've saved already. Alright, so this one, the first 2 seconds are going to be at 40 watts, from 2 to 5 seconds is going to break down to 30 watts, and then 5 seconds to 10 seconds is going to go down to 20. Now, so when I say save and enable, watch. So, 40 watts, on its own, 30 watts, on its own, down to 20 watts, and it ends out. So, easy as that, but that's awesome for somebody who likes it nice and hot, but then you don't want it to continue to burn your throat. I've been really enjoying those things, but again, let me break into that again. You can change everything from here. You want to change your voltage? Go right here. Bring it up to 6.9, 7.2, anywhere in there, and then click it. And then once you're over here, click the check. There you go, 7.7. So it changes really easily. This Bluetooth feature is kind of awesome. I dig it. I don't use it every now and then, but watch. Set that, leave your phone, and it'll do it every time for you. And again, people talk about losing Bluetooth connection, but you don't lose the setting. That's the cool part about it. So you don't really lose anything when you do lose the connection. It will drop out if you leave the phone in your pocket for about a half hour and you leave this somewhere else. But yeah, other than that, let's break in. It gives you all these stats and stuff. This is the gimmicks I was talking about. Like, it tells you every puff that you took, all the information about it, which, I don't know, if you're really, really weird and want to track shit like that, go for it. But it'll even graph it for you, which is even weirder, but go week, and it'll give you, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, we can. It tells you stuff like that. Month, year. Tells you how often you vape. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but it's cool if you're into shit like that. I really just like the custom power modes that I was showing you. You can go into settings and it'll give you even more. You can set your password. Defaults 6 zeros in a row, so 0000000. I haven't changed it. I don't give a shit. I don't think anybody's going to hack my BEC Pro from anywhere, so I'm not too worried about it. But again, this thing's kind of cool, but I don't really look at my phone while I'm vaping that often, especially in the app. I might be on my texting or Facebook or something like that, but nothing else on the phone. So let's close that out. Oh, while I'm in here, check this out. See this little gap right here between these two? I always put that up because some addies sit a little too high. But if you're weird about it, you just put it up. No gap here, minimal gap here. Makes it look a little better. That's just a few people's trick. I forget where I saw that, but I did see it on YouTube, somebody's channel, so I stole it. But shout out to whoever's idea that was. So you got your BEC. It's engraved in there and then painted black, which is kind of cool. The back says Smok and tells you it's Bluetooth. Yeah, the mod looks nice. It's got this like grill texture on here, nice and soft on the hand. Down the bottom you got some vent holes for your battery, which is pretty cool. Yeah, designed by Smok. Nice. I was a little bit disappointed. I think it was Spin Fuel that said that this button was directional, but it's not. It's just a fire button. 5. And then when I try and go over, it's not actually hitting over. It's the same thing if I hit it dead in the middle. It's not really changing anything directionally. It's just me clicking the button. So, yeah, don't take the bait that this thing's directional like any type of a joystick, because it's not. But, again, every time you hit it, it's nice. 5 clicks, boom, 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 boom. Takes you through, takes you through, takes you through. It works. That's the beauty of it, is every time you hit the button, it's going to work for you. It's going to work every time. But that's most mods these days. I've had this thing for, what, 2 months? And it hasn't really broken down at any point. Sometimes I build a little too low for it. It does fire down to a 0.2, but most of the time when I'm sub-ohming, I like to go a little lower with that. Be sure you're safe with batteries and all that shit. But yeah, this thing will tell you when you're too low. Let's go into the ohms output. There you go, ohms. So when you hit it, it tells you. My build's at a 0.2. And it fires right up. The manufacturer tells you it stops at a 0.3, but like you saw, it shoots at a .2 and continues every time. When I get down to like a .17, .15, it does get a little finicky. Sometimes you have to just use a mechanical on something like that. But yeah, I mean, not many variable voltage, variable wattage devices are going down that low. So that's kind of a good thing. I don't know what it is about Smoktech's chip that makes it that way, but it is a pretty cool feature that you can really get low in the ohms on this and sub-ohm with it. We're going to back out. I'm going to vape a couple times on it. You can see what she's got in the way of power, and we'll move on to final thoughts.
Alright, we're back. Again, Plumeveil clone. It's a 3-strand parallel build, 28 gauge Cantle, I think. Like you saw, it's running at about a .2. Right now I got it at 30 watts. So yeah, we're going to do 30, 40, and 50, show you the higher end of this thing, see how she vapes. So yeah, 30 watts isn't too hot, especially at a .2. I kind of like it. I'm really into the higher end stuff now because I do have the mechanicals and they push a lot more watts than 30, 40, 50. So this thing's a little low for what my tastes are at this point in time, but again, 40 watts, 50 watts, it's satisfying. It's not as hot as I want it to be. It's not as hot as I'll get from a mechanical mod, but it is a satisfying vape. It's something nice. And again, it's 50 watts every time you hit the button. That's the beauty of a regulated mod. Every time you hit it, you're getting 50 watts on the dot, which you can't really beat that. Battery life, I mean, it lasts about a day. I bring a spare battery to me when I take it to work, but sometimes I don't even use it. It's good to have a spare because I hate running out. But yeah, usually I don't run through the entire battery in a day, but every now and then I do, and I'm glad I brought that second battery. I'm going to take it up to 40 watts and show you that real quick. Alright, 40 watts. Again, we're getting there. That's a bit closer to me, but yeah, 40 watts isn't too hot for me. You kind of get used to it. I really enjoy it at 40 and 50 watts. The higher end of the spectrum is nice for me. I usually keep this Plumeveil on it. Every now and then I'll put a Vulcan on it, but the issue with the Vulcan on it is the thing sits like this and sticks halfway out of your pocket. So it's not like a nice concealable, portable stealth mod, but it's great for like an at-home thing. I sit on the couch and vape. I lay in bed and vape with it. It's nice for stuff like that, but it's not really the best like stealth mod. I wouldn't take it anywhere that I need to kind of hide my mod, if you know what I mean. You don't want grannies looking at you and shit like that. But yeah, we're gonna take it up to 50. We'll show you what that looks like. It's not much different than 40. It's just a little bit hotter, but it does burn nice. Yeah, we'll take it up to 50 and show you what that's about. All right, chumps, 50 watts. Yeah, it's hot. It's warmer than 40. It's warmer than 30, but it's not unbearable. It's basically what a strong mech mod would be. You know, something like the Foo Hatton that I reviewed a couple days ago. It's warm, but it's not crazy warm. Again, your battery life's going to run down the higher watts you go. When you're up in that 50 and 40 range, you're going to be looking at maybe about a half a day, maybe a little bit less, depending on how often you're vaping throughout the day. Bring a second battery with you. Certain flavors kind of break down at that high wattage point. I would say avoid like custards and stuff like that up in that range. But fruity things really pop at that. Anything with really high menthol, or really high nicotine, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go to 50 watts with like a 24 milligram or something like that. Even an 18 would probably rip your throat apart. But other than that, I mean, compared to other variable volt and variable watt devices I've used, this thing hits like a champ. And the ability to go down to a .2 is almost unheard of in a tube mod. You know, a lot of the boxes can do it now, but most of them are firing like a .5. Some of them don't go below 1 ohm. So, I mean, if you're looking to get into like sub-ohm stuff like that, it's a nice value. It's where you want to be as far as like you have the capability to go lower, but you don't have to. When you're at 50 watts, you don't need to be at .2 ohms to get a nice vape. You can stay in that 1.2 ohm range and still vape safely. You know, you're not going to put too much strain on the battery because it is a regulated mod. But again, it gives you an idea of what ohms and what batteries give you what outcome, you know what I mean? As far as value goes, I think I paid 90 bucks for it, and I got it from a seller on eBay. I'll post his link in the description. Guy was really cool. I think his name was Brendan. Yeah, but I paid $90 for this thing, and it has not broken down once. Haven't had a single issue with it. People complained about Bluetooth breaking down and the squeaky threads. Neither of them have been a real problem for me. You know, you're not changing the battery every 10 minutes, so it's not that big a deal. You know, if the button was messy, I'd have an issue with it. I'd recommend this thing for anybody from a beginner to an experienced vapor. Anything that's regulated is going to hit consistently, and it's going to hit consistently well. So, you know, when you say 50 watts, it's going to hit 50 watts every time throughout the life of that battery. And then when you do get to a dead battery, it's not going to hit anymore. It's not going to take you down to that danger zone when you're hitting at like a 2.9 where you don't want your battery to be. It's going to cut it out long before then. You'll know it's time to change the battery. I think it shows up and says power short, which is just telling you don't have enough power to sit at 50 watts. That's really it for this thing, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out. I got a couple more reviews coming up. I think I'm going to do this plume veil at some point. I got a couple more addies I want to check out, and a few more mods that I'll have for you sometime next week. So, again, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bounce. I like you. Bounce. Come here, girl. Come here, girl.